Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your man Dave Hollister, the Ghetto Preacher, and you know I got soul.
All right, Dave. So you got the new album coming later this year. It's your first R&B, true R&B project in a while. You know, some years now. I know people have been waiting on a true R&B album from you once again. What can we expect this time around?
This time, man, is definitely more a mature Dave. Since I've been gone, you know, I've been through a lot of changes. Been through, you know, some finding of myself. You know, so now the music is definitely mature, but still me. And then also my voice as well is a little bit more mature than it was back then.
Right.
So it's just a more mature project all the way around.
Right. So what brought you back to R&B? You've been doing gospel for a while. In addition to touring with BS2, you know, you did the group United Tenors. So what brought you back to R&B?
I just felt like it was time. It was my time to come back. And I never really, you know, I took some time away to really find myself again, get myself together, because I had lost myself. I had gotten lost in, you know, alcohol, drug use, specifically cocaine. I lost myself, and I struggled with it, you know, based on my previous marriage that I myself single-handedly messed up. So, you know, in losing the one person that I thought was gonna be with me forever, that kind of, you know, it kind of hurt me. Right. So, excuse me, that helped push me deeper into alcoholism and the start of drug use.
That's real. We were talking to Warryn Campbell last night at your show, and he mentioned he executive produced this project. You know, yes. We're big supporters of his work as well, and I think he's the perfect guy to work with to bring you back, introduce you in this R&B scene once again. So talk about sonically what he's helped you create on this album.
Oh man, he's helped me find the real me. Warryn Campbell is the epitome of the student of music. He knows almost every record. He knows the person that he doesn't just work with anybody haphazardly. He doesn't do it. So, you know, he works with people he wants to work with, and he studies them. You know what I mean? And for me, it's been a long time coming, because I've always wanted to work with Warryn on this side of the music arm. He's been on both my gospel projects, but we've never done R&B together, which is what we always wanted to do. And since we've done it this time, there will be no more records without Warryn Campbell. Right. You know, wow. So now awesome. we're working on a partnership. You know, me being down with my block and the whole thing. So everything from here on out will be produced by Warryn Campbell. And even if people want to come and bring stuff to the project, it has to come through Warryn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
And yeah, he's just one that I know that God brought us together like this, you know, because he started really with he was only really supposed to do like 3 songs, and then we was like, man, forget this, let's keep going, you know, and from that moment I was like, man, forget this, we going here forever, you know what I mean? Because I want to, when you think about all the the people with longevity and the classic albums, they all had one producer, and that's what I want to bring back. When you think of Luther, it was Nat Adderley. When you think of Anita Baker, it was Michael Powell. When you think of Michael Jackson up until Dangerous, it was Quincy Jones. Right. You know what I mean? So now when you think of Dave Hollister, you're going to know it's Warryn Campbell.
Right. That's awesome, man. Now, how are you going to balance your solo career with these groups that you're a part of, like BS2 and you know, your gospel group? You know, what's going to be the balance there for you?
Dave Hollister is always going to be number one. Dave Hollister is the number one, the priority, period. Period, dot, that little thing at the end of the sentence. That's it. Right. United Tenors, we are done until it's time to do another record, because we're all doing our own projects now. Brian Courtney Wilson just did his on July 21st or 25th, I believe, and Fred is doing his now. He's getting ready to go out on tour with Donnie, and Eric Roberson dropped his 2 weeks ago, which I have a duet on. Thank you, with him. So we're all doing our separate projects right now.
Cool.
And it might be another one in the future.
Right. So when it comes to recording gospel versus recording R&B, creatively, what are the differences for you approaching each?
That's a cool question, and nobody ever really asked that one. That's a good one, because God allowed me to be me. Period. I don't approach him differently at all. Wow. You know, he is one thing I always said, that whenever I do a gospel record or inspirational record, God just allowed me to be me.
Right.
And that's what he does. You know, I'm a messenger. I'm a storyteller. I'm an artist. So, you know, you can see what you hear when you listen to my stuff. You know,
right.
I want to paint a picture so you can see it, not just hear it.
Right.
And he's allowed me to do that on both sides.
That's awesome. Do you find yourself reaching the same fan bases, the same fans listening to your gospel stuff that listen to your R&B, or is there different crowds?
I don't think they're different. I think there's some in gospel that won't admit they listen, but they do. Yeah. And it's been evident, you know, with my records and with the United Tenors project, you know, that most of the people who, you know, they thought, you know, that I wasn't, you know, going to affect, it ended up affecting. You know, we went out on a 3-week tour, the United Tenors. We went out on a 3-week, 4-week tour, about a month tour, and the response when Fred would call me out every night was just incredible. You know, and everybody thought it was just there to see Fred, but you know, it was amazing, and I thank God that he's graced me to be able to do both. Right. You know, both successfully. So, you know, I really don't, you know, when people start talking about the whole, well, you shouldn't be over here in gospel when you did whatever. Right. So a lot of them just mad because they can't do it.
Right. There you go. Now, the current song you got out, Spend the Night, you know, it's starting to move our radio, you know, the great song to come back with. What made this, for you, the right choice to lead off with for the project?
Basically because it's taking us back to the 90s sound. Right. You know, a lot of people talk about how, you know, that era was the best era when it comes to music. Me and Warryn said, well, why not take him back there? Right. You know, and Warryn, being who Warryn is, he knew exactly how to go. Right. And, you know, we find that those are the concerts that's selling out. The 90s artists, when they come and do, they selling out all over the place. Every time one comes, you know, it does big numbers. So I said, okay, instead of me trying to go sound like everybody else, let me just do what I do. Let's just take them back to the 90s.
Right. Awesome. So, you know, we saw you perform live last night. Awesome performance. Your vocals are as strong as ever. I mean, you're known as a vocal beast, but like you keep it going. You've been at this since the 90s. So how do you keep your vocals so fresh and, you know, powerful?
Oh man, I gotta say, it's the secret to that is basically God preserving my voice, man. I don't, you know, because I'm a very transparent person. And I don't mind, you know, sharing my story, you know, with people. The amount of cocaine I used to do, my voice should be gone. You know what I mean? And it was just God that preserved me. You know, one of my friends in the industry, I'm not going to even be afraid to say his name. His name is Jason Champion. He used to be a part of Men at Large. He's got albums coming out too. That's my boy. He called me when he heard the single. He said, man, it sounds like God just took your voice and put it in a time machine and just turned it off and waited to now and say, okay, let me get your voice back. Right. You know what I mean? And, you know, he knows the struggles that I went through, you know, as far as that's concerned. But, man, all I can do is attribute it to God, because I don't do any vocal acrobats. I don't do no warm-ups. I don't, you know, Uncle Charlie said, man, I don't know how to do all that. I just wake up and sing. I grew up in church singing. And that's true. You know, I wish I had that type of, you know, regimen or follow a certain regimen, but I don't. I just,
Wow.
you know, get up and drink. If I feel hoarse, I'll drink a Coca-Cola or something, let some acid hit it, and go on about my day.
That's special. Wow. Last question for you. Tell me about some current artists you listen to these days. Are there any that catch your attention?
No, I don't really listen. The only person whose voice I like, I don't particularly care for the music, is Chris Brown. His voice is amazing. He's an amazing talent, and the boy can dance. And if he can, man, he could be the next closest thing to Michael Jackson. You know, if he surrounds himself with the right people,
Right.
he could definitely have a career like that. Other than that, vocally, nobody really I can think of right now that, you know, I really.
Yeah, that's fair.
know.
That's fair. All right, cool. Anything you want to add?
Just want to thank y'all for all the years. You know, you supported me. You know, the people supported me, man. I'm just grateful to be here. I do have friends in the industry that I listen to and I talk to a lot, and they're not new artists, you know. And I want to thank them also for keeping it going, like, you know, my man Tank, Music Soul Child, Layla Hathaway, India Ari, Anthony Hamilton, of course. That's, you know, that's about Rasan Patterson. Those who keep R&B moving, you know what I mean? We trying to keep this thing going. You know, we don't want to shut down on who we are and what we do. We don't want them to shut us down. So just thank God. Jill Scott, you know, a part of all of that. So just thank them, you know, for keep paving the way.